Hello. I'm listening to this delightful compilation, Jugs 1927 to 1933, on the Origin Jazz Library label, and we have recordings here from the late 20s, Canon Jug Stompers among others. Great issue of old 78ers in vinyl format. Of course, it's probably both expensive and difficult to get hold of the original records. That's why I like this kind of compilation. I'm going to turn down the sound. Right. It wasn't to show you this record that I switched on the cam, but I thought I saw such a nice video thread the other night made by Tammy of TheMusicBeautyLife YouTube channel, and she made a video called I Love Music Tag. So she asked 9 different questions, and I thought, well, what a good idea. Some of these I may have answered before. I can't even be bothered remembering all the junk I put up on YouTube. So, but let's see here. It's a very nice list of questions, and I'm going to answer them as well as I can. Be sure to check out her channel. It's called TheMusicBeautyLife, all written as one word, so I'm sure you'll find her. Favorite band artist of the moment. Well, it's very difficult to answer that, because often it's about favorite record of the moment. But if I have to pick some record, or some band that I've been listening a lot to, it has to be Led Zeppelin, because last year or so I've been listening more and more. Even started to try to find some other old bootlegs. So checking the record to represent my pick. So now it's Led Zeppelin, tomorrow it may be some other band or artist, but they are great, unless you already knew that. Number 2, one band I always come back to. Well, it has to be from Canada, the band. I was first introduced to their music in the early 90s. I was in my late teens. I wasn't really ready for it then, but around 10 years later, I was in my late 20s. I started listening to them, and started with the compilation disc, and then I bought record after record on CD back then. Today I've been able to get hold of all the records on the vinyl, and the more I listen to them, the better they become. And I listened a lot to these around 10 to 12 years ago, but I always get back to them because they are top quality music. And today, alas, only Garth Hudson and Robbie Robertson are still with us. All the voices of the band have silenced by now, which is a pity. So it's a bit of a sadness when I listen to their records as well, but still, it's the band. Favorite movie soundtrack? Actually, I went to the movies yesterday and saw the Grand Budapest Hotel by Wes Anderson, and they had a really nice soundtrack. I have to say, I even actually downloaded it to my iPad, because I've noticed, it isn't available on vinyl, and CD, but I'm nothing against downloading it. So that's great, but I'm not going to show you that one. I'm going to show you Michael Nyman's music for Peter Greenaway's film Z and Two Knots. And if you want to define weird filmmaker, you could pick Peter Greenaway. I've showed this record before in this channel as well, but still, you keep getting back to them. Very aggressive string quartet kind of music. Because often when you think about string music, it's very nice, very tender, very romantic. This isn't. This is almost violent. They're not playing with their bows. It's like they're sawing the instrument when they play. It's very, and the movie itself, well, it's one of the weirder movies that's been made. That's for sure. Check it out. You may not like it, but definitely interesting. And I like this movie soundtrack because it's quite different from most other soundtracks. Right. I don't have that much by Michael Nyman apart from the set of 2 notes. Yeah. Number 4, favorite song of all time. And now this is getting incredibly difficult because I've been listening to music for all my life. Been hearing so many songs that I like. I might give you a list of the 100 best songs, but I mean, who can ever find any reason to check through such a list? But if I have to pick one song, and I don't know if it's the favorite one, but it's almost played to death in Swedish radio because it's a Swedish song, and it's a song about the ship Titanic. And it has nothing to do with the movie. This was made maybe 15 years before the movie. It's a Swedish singer and songwriter Mikael Wiehe, who together with a group called the Cabaret Orchestra, made a record called Sjömansvisor. There are some Swedish Dylan interpretations on this, because we could almost call Mikael Wiehe a Swedish Bob Dylan, although well, not really, but still. Anyway, but the last song on side 1 is called Titanic, second class passenger's last song, in brackets, and it's a song about this passenger on the Titanic and his experiences while the Titanic ship was sinking, and it's written in a very prosaic mood. It's not really emotional, it's more practical. I brought a sweater because I know the ocean will be very cold. So it's written in a very dry feeling. So it isn't dramatic, or of course it's dramatic, but the narrator of the story isn't dramatic at all. It's a normal person who just tells his story. I think that's what it became a huge hit in Sweden, and it's still one of the most played songs, and Mikael Wiehe is still one of the most popular, most successful singers and songwriters, especially songwriters during the last 40 years now. But this is from his first solo album. He was the singer in the group called Hoola Bandoola Band before that, but this is from his first solo album. And of course, many today they have heard this song. Almost everybody in Sweden have heard this song, and some of them may say, "Oh, we've heard it so many times, we're getting bored with it." But still, I keep getting back to this whole album, which is very good. But when I hear it, I don't get tired of it, because I listen to it and I hear small details in the lyrics, in the music, in the arrangements, and yeah, there are so many good songs. But if I have to pick one, and I'm doing it at gunpoint here, I would pick this one. Right. Ask me in 5 minutes, and I may pick another song. So don't ask me in 5 minutes, please. I had enough problem picking that one. Right, okay. Most embarrassing song on your iTunes. Well, believe it or not, I got one of these. It's an iPod Classic, and I've got an iPad too, but I don't really use that for listening to music. And of course, embarrassing. I really don't think that I got anything that I feel is embarrassing, because I think I can stand for all my music choices here, music picks. But I have to say, I have some of my own music on this too, MP3s, and some of them are quite okay songs, but there are some really shit songs too. And I wrote one 10 years ago, no, longer, 13 years ago, called It's Healthy to Puke, which I guess it is sometimes, but it didn't really turn out the way I wanted, and really, no, it's not a good song, but it's on this one, and it's on my iTunes on my computer, so I would pick something that I've written. That's embarrassing. Right, top 3 played songs on your iTunes. Well, on my because I don't really use iTunes on the computer as to listen to. I mainly use this to listen to podcasts and audiobooks. So it's hard to pick 3 songs, but I'm going to pick 3 songs that I listen to quite a lot, because I don't have them on vinyl. I have some. Oops. By accident, I pressed the stop button on this recording device. So, what was I saying? Well, yeah, I picked 3 songs that I listen to quite often because, well, I don't have them on vinyl. I have them, some of them on CD, but I don't really listen that much to CD anymore. First of all, it's Johnny Clegg's and Savuka, the song The Crossing, and this is a very famous song, especially in South Africa. Johnny Clegg was one of the, well, is still one of the greatest political rock composers, and he wrote that song as a memory to his musician friend who was killed or died, I don't remember now, but it's one of these songs you can't really listen to it without getting choked because it's so emotional. So that's one of them. Another one is Elvis Costello and Burt Bacharach's God Give Me Strength, and that's of course taken from a movie that I really can't remember the name of now, but that doesn't matter, because the first time I heard about them cooperating, I thought, well, what a good idea, and then I saw their performance in a talk show on the telly. I don't remember, it might have been David Letterman show, I'm not sure, but it was a performance of that song, and I listened to it and I watched it, and afterwards my jaw was just dropped. This is so bloody good. I had to get this. So back then, of course, it was all about buying CDs. So I went to the local CD stores, and trust me, there weren't many. There are even less now. To actually get hold of this CD, because I wasn't online back then. I didn't know, I couldn't order anything online, if there even were any online stores then. Yeah, I'm sure it was. Anyway. But I remember it took me actually 1 or 2 months before I got hold of the CD. And now it's on this one, and I play it fairly often. Then the third one I've never had on CD because, oh, that's not true, because it came on one of these CDs that I got with a magazine. I don't know if it was Uncut or if it was Mojo or any of these magazines that I've been buying a lot, especially in the past. It was a singer, Josh Turner, and his take on When I Paint My Masterpiece, the famous song by the band and Bob Dylan. But I liked his interpretation of that song. He was a great singer too. I don't know that much about Josh Turner, and I think that's the only song I've heard about him, but I think he's a Christian country artist, not sure. Yeah, alright. So that's not really top 3 played on my iTunes or iPod, but these 3 other songs that I keep listening to on this one, on this nice little device. Right. Favorite concert that I attended? Well, it was a concert that I've seen twice. It's a performance by the Swedish music group Fria Pro Teatern. and they put together in the 80s a program of songs by the Russian singer and songwriter Vladimir Vysotsky, and they issued it on record as well. This is it, Sånger av Vysotsky, Fria Pro Teatern. Then I worked together with the daughter of one of the members of this group, so I talked to her about how much I like this record, because I heard this record way back in the 1980s. And then she said, well, they've started doing exactly the same show now again. So I went twice and saw their show, but in the 2000 noughties, I think, 2000 noughties. How do you say it? The 2000 noughts? Well, some years ago, and enjoy it immensely. And they made a newer show with more music by Vysotsky and other Russian singers and songwriters and poets since then. So I'm not really, I don't go to that many concerts, but when I go to those concerts, I often pick stuff that I really know that I will enjoy, and that was the case. And of course I have the record too, and I play it quite often. Right, that was number 7. Number 8 then, most underrated musician in my opinion. Oh, I haven't really thought about that. I forgot about that one. I think I would pick the country guitar player Chet Atkins, because although you can find lots of records with him and you can see him producing lots of records, you don't really talk about him as much as you should, I think, because he has a sort of musical personality that affects the people he works with and the productions he's involved with. I could pick Jeff Lynne as well, as musicians that I really admire, and I don't feel that they get the they don't get enough attention, as they don't get the right amount of attention that they really deserve. So I would pick Chet Atkins and Jeff Lynne. And this is right, I've written down all this in advance, but I forgot about that question, so I managed to do it without thinking. Alright, favorite quote from song lyric. Well, we have a song lyric by Johnny Clegg called The Crossing that I always feel a bit choked about when I hear about it. And it's about sometimes, let's see if I can remember it by heart. Inside there's a man who looks up to his father for a sign or an approving eye. It's funny how those once close and now gone still affect our lives. And when I hear those lyrics, well, tears. Well, but I'm not going to. Well, that wasn't the one I was going to mention. I'm going to mention a piece of lyric from this Paul Simon album, The Rhythm of the Saints, and it comes from the song Cool Cool River, and it says, sometimes even music cannot substitute for tears. And I think that's quite true. There, that was my list. Thank you for, well, watching this. And thank you, Tammy, for a great idea for a list. And please join this tag game, and I'm sure you can find her original video where you have listed all the questions, 9 of them, and interesting ones. So it was a great idea. And bye bye.